9:06 a.m. Thank you for your attendance.
Mr. Mayor, could we just adjourn for a moment, please, so we want to have a discussion?
Righto, we'll just adjourn for a second.
106.
Meeting, we'll keep going with the meeting. Confirmation of minutes, ordinary meeting 11th of October. Do we have a mover? Councillor Taylor.
I'd like to move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 11th of October 2023 be confirmed.
We have a second, Councillor McMullen. Any opposition? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
I'll abstain, I wasn't at that meeting.
Okay, so that's 8-1 for call for division. We can note in there that Councillor Burkett's abstaining because he wasn't at the meeting. Okay, 5.1, material change of use, extractive industry up to 400,000 tonnes per annum. Councillor
Now I
McMullen.
move this lay on the table until later in the meeting.
Okay, all those in favour? 9-0. Item 5.2, use of magnesium in water supply reticulation. Do we have any questions?
Just one, I'm still not 100% happy, but a lot of it's out of our hands. But I do appreciate the fact that the pH, the chlorine level will be dropped down, the pH level will be dropped down, which might help with a lot of guys' irritation of skin and such like that. But I suppose until a better system comes in place or a better option, we've got not much choice really, I suppose.
Okay, did you want to move something, Councillor Burkett?
Yeah, I'll move that Council 1 receives and note this report. 2, continues to use chlorine gas as preferred method for the Mitchell town. Should we put, I know there was a comment another time about all towns. Can we include all towns in that, or?
Well, it's up to your motion.
All-
You can.
All Maranoa Regional Council towns in that area, or towns in the Maranoa Regional Council area. Town water supply disinfection in accordance with the Australian Drinking Water Quality Management Plan. 3, reduce the dosage rate and establish pH correction to the Mitchell water supply and any other supply networks to meet the guidelines of between 7.5 to 8.0 to support an enhanced environment.
Yeah, we've got a seconder. Do you, Councillor Burkett, did you want to put in something just in case there's a reason they've
Yeah,
had to go
that's
above
exactly
that?
right. Any other relevant networks maybe?
Oh,
Well, just
Simply
like,
because it
no,
may
as
not
a
be viable
guide,
in
as
either.
that you want it done,
Well, that's-
unless,
that's the correct.
yeah, unless extenuating
Okay, yeah,
circumstances.
I'm happy with that.
Well, because you've included all the towns, not just Mitchell, and this
Yeah.
report was done just on the
Yeah,
Mitchell's
I'll just-
number, so maybe
I'll
take
redo it
out-
just as Mitchell to start with.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, right.
Yep.
well, you could put all the towns and put
Well,
extenuating
I honestly can't
circumstances.
remember why it was just Mitchell
No,
to
but we
start
haven't
with.
got a report, but you're leaving it out, like we can't change it, otherwise they'd have to do a,
Oh,
Maybe
Yep,
point forward,
amendment,
trigger
yep.
a report on all the other towns to come back for consideration.
But if that's, we don't know if there's any been other issues, that's the.
no, but if you say except for extenuating circumstances, then they can leave it the way they are. Do you know what I mean?
right.
So is the seconder happy with that? Have we've lost our screen?
I didn't think me writing.
We're running blind.
Words.
Are you happy with the second?
Councillor,
No, there is no
Lad-
seconder at this point.
yeah,
we're still-
Councillor Ladbrook. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
we need to get the screen going before then.
Yep. Do you want, yeah, John again, okay.
Have we been having some technical problems?
Do you need me to get some? Yep. Okay, great, thank you.
There we go. Oh, I got it.
Back on the laptop here.
It's on my iPad.
Is
We'll
it sitting
all
on
watch
a,
Wendy's.
is it sitting on
iPad.
the second screen?
Sharing. Sharing and caring.
Okay, we'll just adjourn and we'll get the,
I see.
any discussion? Otherwise, we're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
7-5.
175. 5.1, sale yard logistics. I've got a question.
Miss-
I've
Yeah.
got a conflict.
Oh, please go ahead.
So I'm so used to seeing Kel there, it's going to be hard. I'd like to declare a conflict of interest. Item 5.3, description sale yards logistics. Declaring councillor as Councillor Joanne Hancock. Person with interest is GL and JM Hancock and H5H Transport Trust, my husband and myself. Particulars of interest is we own a transport business and are occasional users of the loadout facility. And type of conflict is declarable conflict of interest, and the action is I'll leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Any other conflicts? Okay, Councillor Hancock's left the room.
I've got a question.
Yeah, I've got one too, but please go ahead.
Can someone remind me why this was laid on the table or what we were waiting for?
Through the chair, as I recall, is the discussion in the chamber at the time was that there was at least one councillor that believed that some of the items within the motion as it stood had already been dealt with, and I think they were waiting for parallel reports to come through in the next meeting, which didn't come through until now.
Was that due, Councillor?
Yeah, Mr Meg, I'd be happy to hear from the general manager, because as I said at the time, I believe most of it they were dealt with. You go ahead, because you did tell us it.
Yes, so in relation to the delay, there was an official non-conformance issued through the contract, which that was issued on the 7th of September. And we've since had a response from the contractor formally as well, so that side of that report has been officially dealt with.
Yeah, so that was one of them, but there's many things in this report.
Mr Meg,
Please go ahead.
my understanding after that, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's been an agreement that both ramps will be open from 4 o'clock or something in the afternoon. Was that correct?
So we haven't formalised any change in the specifications to the contract as of yet, but we are working towards altering those specifications of 5,000 and above, 2 ramps open from 10 a.m, because majority of trucks do not come in at 10 a.m. They'll all come in the last couple of hours. So
That particular day, or that when that happened, they didn't have the second ramp open, didn't?
they didn't have the second ramp open for a reasonably short period of time. So that's correct. Yeah, and they've accepted that in their response letter. There was a few other circumstances for a bit of the delay as well, as far as the receival goes, but I will be bringing a report on the load-out systems to a future meeting that will cover some of how basically the future of avoiding delays. That will be the report that will essentially cover that, dealing with the ramp and receival yards.
Yeah, well, I'd like to move that a report be prepared for the next council meeting in relation to, not the next council meeting, a future council meeting, which you may be doing, management of loading and unloading at the sayards, including staffing for peak times and active monitoring of cameras in relation to wait time performance for transporters. And then I would go to 2 will be
Number 5.
or maybe number 4, that a report be prepared, well, there again for a future meeting, on how sayards can avoid delays and actively manage loading and unloading at the site through a security software system. And the third one, that sayards team conduct a weekly survey, or this is what we're asking in the report. I would actually say that the sayards team have options to conduct a weekly survey using customer feedback. Doesn't need to be a form, using customer feedback for transport operators about wait times to capture improvements and satisfaction. So just those 3 items out of the original
So
motion.
through the chair, the number 5 could be the SAYADS teams conduct a weekly survey gathering customer feedback.
Yeah, correct.
From transport operators.
Yeah, that could even be done on a phone, it could be done in different ways, doesn't have to be labour intensive.
Mr Mayor, can I ask a
Yep.
question?
Please
Is
go
it-
ahead.
Is it worth, we've got the Roma Salia stakeholder meeting that's going to be happening tomorrow. Would that be a possible forum for this to be undertaken within?
Well, what I'm doing is asking for this to, and I'm sure probably the general manager has already been working on some of this, but it's about how we can nut it out. Like there's AI and there's many things that are available now that can be watching this. So there's opportunities for that. But I would imagine that's the whole idea of the advisory committee, is that they would, the general manager, when he's got something, would pass it through there and ask the questions of that group. So, but I don't want to be prescriptive to send it to them, because I think we've got to let the general manager do the job. Councillor Taylor,
I have a question.
please
The
go ahead.
sale yards experienced major delays in relation to wait time on the 28th of August. Can you tell me about it? Like, what is it?
Well, that's the one about the non-conformance notice. Yep, please. Yep, no worries. General Manager, do you want to answer that one?
So on a sale that we had just over 5,000 head, they had one ramp open. There was no trucks, and for a short period of time, a large amount of trucks come in all at once. They've failed to open the second ramp
Just on that one day?
just on that one day, and once it was in a bit of a transition period where their operations manager was on leave as well, so there's a new operations manager in there for that day, and they've just failed to open the second ramp in a timely manner to deal with those trucks. So a truck had to wait for a period of time, and that has resulted in the truck not being, or delaying them for going back for their second.
So you wouldn't assume it's going to happen again if they've got all their ducks in a row now?
Yeah, but this has been put back a few times.
I would certainly, my expectation is that if the two ramps are required to be open, and since this time we've had sales under 5,000 head, and the contractors have voluntarily opened their second ramp when they haven't had to, because it's in their best interest to unload the trucks quickly so they can get on with their scanning, so they're not there for a longer period of time.
So the condition is if it's under 5,000, they only have to open one?
That's
but
it.
over 5,000, they have to open up two?
That's correct, but we are working with the contractors, and they're open to having a change in the specification in the future too, because 4,999 is the same as 5,000, so we want trucks to be able to unload as timely as possible.
And through the chair, if you recall, in relation to the setup of the new contracts, one of the things that was of an issue to council was that we potentially weren't bringing contractors to account in a formal way in relation to non-conformances, and as a result, the general managers made sure that he's done that.
Councillor
Yeah,
McDonald?
Mr. Just that particular night, they ended up with about 4 or 5 trucks lined up in the first instance, but I've spoke to a few of the agents since, and they're very happy with the way Manager Daniel handled it, and since, like, but I suppose it's probably more the new contractor from now on, there hasn't been, as you said, they've been using their own initiative to come in early, and hopefully when you renegotiate the terms and conditions, we can bring it down, like.
Yeah, and they're open to those discussions.
One suggestion was 2 ramps open after about 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Councillor Taylor?
I just wonder if it warrants the fact that now you're going to get the sales yards team to conduct weekly surveys. That's taking up their time when it was a one-off, and they've realised that they didn't have everything as they should. And as Deputy Mayor just said, everybody's happy now. And just like, that's more resources for what exactly?
Well,
What
number
outcome?
one, it's only asking for a report, so we're not going to be doing it, but we're asking for a report. How can we?
But you're asking for a weekly survey.
No, we're a report on how we could do that.
That's not how that reads.
That's not how this says.
Number 5 is instructing the staff to do it.
So through the chair, you could amend number 5 to say include as part of the report the option of
Right,
a
I'm
weekly.
happy to put
Yep,
that in
yep.
there. Normally, we have it up the top to ask for a
Yep.
report for all
Sure.
these
Mr.
items.
Mr. Mayor, I
Yep.
think tomorrow's the beginning of the new user group or whatever you want to call it, I'm sure it'll go back to,
Yeah, you've got a
I don't know how,
feedback
what are they going to be, monthly or?
That's for the
Does it work it out?
committee to decide
But I'm-
tomorrow.
I'm sure, as it happened in the past, that issues like that have been raised and belted, or not belted out, but, resolved and, yeah.
So one of the agenda items on the for the committee tomorrow is feedback on our new loadout services and receival services as well. So we've got a good representation of transporters on that committee.
Mr. Mayor, can I suggest an amendment?
Yeah,
Let's
please go
go to
ahead.
dot point one at this stage until we see how the user group not facility, but you know what I mean, goes ahead with.
How it operates.
How it operates, and with the manager already said he's going to do a report anyway.
We don't have, we don't have something to tell us at the moment. I don't think it's happening till we've found it after. And
Well,
this is about,
it's still not gonna happen. and that's
But is
not
that, you've moved an amendment, are you accepting that amendment then, or?
no, I'll stick to the
proposed one?
original motion. Would you like to move an amendment?
I'd like to move that, item 5.3 read, a report be prepared for a future council. A report be prepared for a future council meeting in relation to management of loading and unloading at the sale yards, including staffing for peak times and active staffing for peak times.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Does the mover wish to speak to the amendment?
No, thanks, Mr Mayor, we've had enough discussion.
We'll go to the vote on that. All those in favour? All those against?
Sorry, I was just distracted then.
So, well, we'll do the vote again. All those in favour?
Of the amendment.
Yeah.
All those against? Okay, carried 4-3, if I can call for a division. Does the mover wish to speak to the amendment?
Oh, Mr Mayor, I just think this, with the introduction of our user group.
It's not the amendment, it's now the
Well,
motion.
it's the motion,
Yeah, sorry.
Amendment.
The
which
new
was
motion.
the amendment.
Do you need a seconder?
No, I seconded it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I just think with the introduction of our advisory groups again, starting as of tomorrow, and the general manager will get some direction and things from this group, and I'm sure a lot of these things will be resolved before we actually hear about it, once things get back in the rolling, the user group gets rolling, I suppose.
Okay, I'll speak against the motion. This was about actually having something in process that we stop the next one happening. The user group, I certainly support that. That's going to be great. We're going to get feedback, but it's also after the event. It's not before the event. We have nothing in place to actually tell us we've got a real life situation if we do have another hiccup at the sale yards. The amount of technology that's out there today, there's technology for that. And I certainly won't be supporting this motion because it has taken all that away from asking that. So the same problem could happen in the future with different staff, someone away, and we have no way for our sale yards general manager or staff at the sale yards to know it's happening. So I certainly won't be supporting this motion. Does anyone else wish to speak for the motion
No,
or against?
Well,
you go
that
for it.
is for, that,
I'm going against the motion.
Yeah, so Councillor Burker, do you want to speak for?
Mr Mayor, originally I agree with everything you were saying, but I think the meeting tomorrow, like Councillor McMullen said, a lot of this will be hashed out, and I'm sure General Manager Dan will bring up those concerns, and it'll be speaking at that forum. I think is the best place to be doing it. It'll still come to the end result. I'm pretty sure we'll get to there in that forum.
Okay, Councillor Taylor, do you wish to
I'm
speak?
not going to, I'm going to vote against it because I don't believe we should do it at all. As you said, you've got a meeting tomorrow with the stakeholders and everybody else in the room, including us. So I just think it's a waste of valuable time for the staff at the sale yards. We have a manager for a reason, so I don't honestly think we need it. So I won't vote for it.
Councillor Tata, it's a general manager, not manager,
Oh,
just so you
general
know.
manager. Sorry, Daniel.
Okay, now, does anyone else wish to speak?
I've got a question.
Please go ahead.
Through the chair to the general manager, Dan, this matter, is it on the agenda for tomorrow?
We've got formal feedback for the receival and services, not this particular event, but it'll be in my update to say that we've had this incident. We've had a non-conformance issued to the contractor, so it will be aired out in that meeting. Yes.
But follow up just in terms of in that resolution that the deputy mayor amended, it's just saying the report be prepared for an upcoming meeting on the management of the loading, uploading at the sale yards. Will there be a topic on the agenda tomorrow?
We will be discussing that in tomorrow's meeting, and there will be a report coming for that anyway, for the loadout of the ramps configuration. So there is a report coming to council for that soon.
Good one, thank you.
Councillor Edwards is back. So is that the motion there, Kel? Just up there? So that's the motion that is, there was an amendment turned in, it was voted for, accepted as the motion, so the motion has changed and that is the motion.
Right.
Councillor Guthrie.
Yeah, I'm very mindful at the timing tomorrow of the new stakeholder, the sale yard stakeholder meeting. I would not like to curtail their opportunity to evolve into a really meaningful dialogue, etc. And I'd like to think that we're getting a report back, or we're getting feedback or minutes of the meeting, so that we can then satisfy ourselves that it's being discussed and addressed. And Mr. Mayor, I'd like to think that if we came back and there was still an outstanding issue, we could bring it as another motion, but just not to curtail the stakeholder meeting tomorrow.
So through you, there will be formal agenda and minutes for the meeting tomorrow. So that's certainly in place. We can circulate those ones.
Okay, does anyone else wish to speak? Does the move wish to sum up?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to add, you said something like we won't know if it's happened. My understanding, we have staff there at night now. I'll stand correcting on that, but till late in the afternoon.
Yes, so I've been attending at the receival services time. We also have out across our contractors, so they've got staff there engaged. My understanding it with the software and the cameras, we will be able to report on how long a truck's been there, but I don't know if we'll have any advantage for a camera to tell us we've got 5 trucks waiting, when as opposed to someone standing there and saying we've got 5 trucks waiting. So someone's already been engaged to have that responsibility to manage the wait times.
I'll stand correcting, but the fact that you're there or one of the council staff, sale yard staff at that time in the afternoon, things can be addressed pretty quickly.
Yes, yeah.
Rather than have to ring an agent, ring a councillor, and then the councillor have to ring or something like that. Someone from council staff will be there to hop in and, not hop in, but to resolve the issue pretty quick.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Councillor Edwards.
What's the difference between what was proposed and what's been put forward here?
Councillor McMullen was summing up.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
But you can ask a question.
Still ask a question.
Councillor McMullen, have you finished?
I've finished,
summed
Mr.
up.
Mayor, it's got to go to the vote now.
Yeah.
Righto.
No, I'm happy to have a question.
Just asking a question, that's all.
Pe-
'cause I was-
People need
I was out
to
of the
know
room,
information
so-
before
yeah.
they vote.
I just need to know the difference between what's here because it looks similar to me.
Can I answer that, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Basically, because the general manager's got all that in his meeting tomorrow. A lot of that's going to be discussed at the first advisory
Oh,
meeting
righto.
tomorrow.
Okay.
It's already on the agenda.
Okay.
So I'll just explain, just for your benefits. I'm voting against it because it's taken out of the, Councillor McMullen has shortened it and believes it will be sorted. The issues that I believe is there's AI and that can tell us when we've got long wait times, and we could automatically address it on the spot, and that technology's out there. So that's why I wanted more in there, but that wasn't supported as the motion, and we're about to go to the vote.
Okay.
Okay, on that point, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? It was 8-2, 6-2, sorry.
5-2,
5-3.
5-3.
5-3, sorry.
No, but
3. Yeah, you
I
said
voted for it.
Four,
you voted for it, so 5-2.
no, it'd be 6-2.
Oh, yeah, okay. So 5-3, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
councillor
If I can call for a division.
yes.
Okay,
Against, Wendy? George.
so
Councillor Taylor, councillor Ladbrokes, and me.
can we get councillor Hancock back?
I don't think she's out of the room for conflict, is she?
Yeah, she was for the last,
She got the-
Yes, she was
they
transporters,
cast.
the transporters,
Oh, that's right, sorry.
yeah.
So long ago.
okay, 8.1, corporate plan 2023 slash 2028
Okay, we'll resume after lunch. 10.1, Council Christmas and New Year closure 2023-2024. We laid this on the table. Have we got some more info somewhere, have we?
Yes, so through the chair, what we noticed was that we'd put the inside and outside staff as the same date in relation to Christmas, but our practice is that for our outside operational staff, we actually send them on a Christmas break 1 week earlier, and we just needed 0.4 to reflect the new date of the 18th of December.
That's all correct, is it?
Yes.
Okay, Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move the council approve the annual Christmas and New Year closure for the general workforce from close of business Friday, the 22nd of December 2023, and reopening on Tuesday, the 2nd of January 2024. 2, approve the closure of the Yule Bar Administration Office on the gazetted public holidays only. All other business days will operate as usual. 3, approve the annual Christmas and New Year closures of council's libraries in Jackson, Wallumbilla and Mungalala from close of business Friday the 22nd of December 2023 and reopening Monday the 8th of January 2024. 4, approve...
Councillor, could I just ask, Edwina, there's a discrepancy there. 18th of December and the 22nd of December, there's only 4 days between. Am I right or not?
Where are you, on what page?
There.
What number?
Number 3.
Yeah, well, that's 22nd of December and the next Friday's the 18th.
Just
There's more.
might be a moment, and I'll
There's
just
7
have a
days
look at those
between the
dates.
2 Fridays, not 4.
Okay.
18 from...
That's different teams, but
Doesn't matter, the dates
The
don't
date.
change.
Yeah, so on here, there's something there, because he says on her email, it says 18th of December rather than the 26th of December, which is not here either.
No,
So I reckon that should be the 26th
you
of
can't
December.
have 4 days between Fridays.
Yeah, that's right. Good pickup.
So, in item number 4 is
Number 3.
requiring those essential skills.
Is that 22nd, Kel, is it?
Well, but I'm highlighting that as the discrepancy you're talking about.
We'll just look the calendar up.
Yes, I'm just going to have a
So
quick...
the 18th is the Monday, so potentially it is the Friday? Is that when we're doing it? I'm sorry, I'm just...
Friday
December
is the 22nd.
22nd and the 29th.
And then reopening on...
No, through the chair. So the 18th of December is a Friday, Friday the 18th of December.
No,
No, it's a Monday.
Oh, it should be Friday.
Friday is the 22nd or the 15th.
It should be Friday the
Fifth,
15th.
Friday the 15th,
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm just trying to, get that.
And Friday the 22nd for the next one.
Yep, that's correct. It should be the 15th of December because of, apologies.
Workforce on the 15th.
Can we just we might just actually have to double check this because
Because
they're saying that it's a skeleton crew from, it could be the Monday, like we need to work out whether they're working on the Friday or it's from the Monday.
So we can put it as either of the 2 dates, I think, from Friday the 15th of December or Monday the 18th of December. Either way, the only difference is if you put close of business Friday the 15th of December, the advantage is we go to skeleton for on-call Saturday, Sunday.
It says
from
close
that
of
date.
business Friday the 22nd, so...
And it should have been the week earlier, which was the 15th.
Yep, just go with 15th.
Yep.
Because then it doesn't matter if it's an RDO or
Is
not
that
either.
number 3 or number 4?
So we're just
Number
on
four.
number 3. Councillor McMullen pulled me up on number 3.
Which is,
Is
let me
the
just...
date that we're closing for the libraries, is it from close of business on Friday the 22nd?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
that's
correct.
correct.
Yes.
That is
Now,
correct.
That's
yeah.
correct.
And that's what I read out.
Yeah, but I stopped you before you read the next one out
Yeah.
because it had the 22nd, Friday the 22nd.
So just maybe reread 3.
So 3, approve the annual Christmas and New Year closures of council's libraries in Jackson, Wallumbilla and Mungalala from close of business Friday the 22nd of December 2023 and reopening Monday the 8th of January 2024. 4, approve the annual Christmas and New Year close down for the field-based operational teams of Roma, Bungle, Bendemeer, Wuru and Baringa, the Project Management Office and the Roma Quarry, excluding those services identified below as essential services requiring skeleton crews from close of business Friday the 15th of December 2023 to Tuesday the 2nd of January 2024. 5, approve, the council approve, that's terrible.
At the
That
Roma.
council approved the Roma waste facility be closed to the public on Christmas Day, the 25th of December 2023, and New Year's Day, the 1st of January 2024, and that 2 15-metre skip bins be provided outside the facility for public use for the days of closure. And 6, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to communicate the annual Christmas and New Year closures to council employees, customers, residents and the general public.
Is there any opposition? No. Seconder, councillor Taylor. Anyone want to speak for or against? All those in favour? 8-0. Which one next, Kel?
Depends if you want to
Do the late or the deal?
or go straight to late.
The mayor's here, he's just walking past.
Busy?
Right,
Right.
okay, great. And we've got Kate, yes, we'll do,
Well, go to that then.
yes.
Go to the
The DA.
DA, which is laid on the table. Okay,
That is,
early in the page, wasn't it?
Yes,
Early
it's
in
the first
piece.
report, so that is page,
Does anyone want a hard copy of the stuff I emailed around earlier?
yes, please, that'd
Page
be awesome.
47.
yep,
And that
What
was
did you
well
send
worded,
us?
thank you for that, Kate. Thank you.
page 47.
This is the email? Yes. I've got my current email so you can see the bold changes and then the full resolution.
Thanks, Kate.
I wonder if we should just maybe adjourn.
Yes, please, Kate.
I wonder, Councillor Mullen, should we just adjourn for 5?
Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting for 5 minutes then.
Thanks.
We'll keep going with the meeting and we're back to 5.1.
Page 47.
Page 47.
Can I ask a question?
Please go ahead.
Through the chair, the proposed reworking of some of the conditions, have they already been included online to the report that is 5.1? They're in there now?
Yeah, and I've also, for condition number 31, if council wishes to adjust that, I've also put from 6 to 3 months. And also condition 9, I've adjusted the reference that was there for Saturday. That's removed now. If
Online.
council wishes.
Yeah, yep, okay, thank you.
Okay, so 5.1, material change of use, extractive industry up to 400,000 tonnes per annum, reference 2022/20582. Do we have a mover?
Oh, Mr Mayor, I'll have a go at it. I'll move.
Please go ahead.
What have we got? I suppose I have to read most of it out, won't I, with it?
No, wouldn't you just say to the general advice from
It
1
is-
to...
This is all online, isn't it, Kel?
We
I'd-
normally just go general advice as listed.
I just confirmed that, yes.
Yeah,
it is.
so I'd like to move, I'd like to move that the development application for material change of use for an extractive industry up to 400,000 tonnes per annum, located at 3401 Carnarvon Highway, Newman Marin, described as Lot 1 on SP 200044 and Lot 8 on WV 828 be approved, subject to the listed conditions and general advice listed below.
Righto, do we have a...
1, 2.
1, 2,
Stopped listing them because remember one meeting we missed one?
Yeah.
So it was just listed
As
by,
listed,
because
I
it's
think,
open.
yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
good.
open.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Ladbroke. Does the move wish to speak to the motion?
Mr Mayor, I think, just hope we can get this resolved today. It's been a fair while coming and I think for everyone's benefit, we need to get the DA approved.
Okay, I'll speak against the motion. Whilst I think there's some improvements and I'm glad to see them, I believe that we're in a situation as we're the impartial body that does material change of uses, that I would like to see a sunset clause as far as how long this approval goes for, to see whether some of the issues that have been raised are solved as far as impacts. We have a We've got a residential very close to this, and because of that, I consider that people come first. So whilst I see some changes, which I'm glad, I won't be supporting this motion today. Does anyone wish to speak for the motion? Or against? Does the mover wish to sum up?
Once again, Mr Mayor, I just think, I'll be pleased, hopefully everyone will get enough support to approve this DA today and, let the show go on.
Okay, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? All those against?
7-2.
7-2 if I can call for a division.
Thanks, Kate. That was,
Yeah, thank you for all your hard work.
I'll send an email for the other resolution for you all as well.
Thank you.
Is that everything in that one there?
We can do L1, Regional Lawn Cemeteries Overview. Councillor Hancock.
Mr Mayor, I move that Council 1 receive and note the report by way of Council Resolution OM/08.2023/35. 2, develop business cases for Surratt and Mitchell Lawn Cemeteries. And 3, consider future upgrades of Surratt and Mitchell cemeteries in accordance with Council Strategic Plan and Capital Works Planning for the Q2 review.
Okay, so that's different to the actual motion. Is that correct?
Happy to speak to it, yep.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Burkett. Does the mover wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, this is just on the back of the previous resolution regarding the Surratt Cemetery. We now have the information regarding the Mitchell Cemetery as well. So happy to include that in this resolution. Mr Mayor, the reason why I've put it for a Q2 review is simply to have a look at it at a Q2 review. There may be some savings in either of those towns that might be able to go towards this. I know that the Surratt Lawn Cemetery's business case has already been worked on and been developed. We saw that in a previous report, and then depending on how long it takes to develop the Mitchell Lawn Cemetery one, I just think that by bringing it back to quarter review, it just gives us an opportunity to look at it if there is savings. If there's no savings and we can't do it, that's okay. We can push it down the line. But I'd just like to give an opportunity to be able to look at it at a quicker than next year's budget.
I'll speak against the motion. I certainly support having a lawn cemetery in Surratt. As do Mitchell, but these are like 100-year commitments or longer, maybe forever. So I don't see enough in here to really say what are the real costs. I think, can it be done with the same staff that we've got? What are the other, hearing from cemeteries? To me, this is a really big decision. It might actually be a more cost-effective decision, but sometimes you just get the quarterly reviews and that's just a financial decision. That's not really delving in depth, hearing from our knowledgeable staff in cemeteries, as well as the people in towns and surrounds that will have to look after it. So to me, I would not support this today because I'm really concerned. This is really long-term decision-making because you can't say now, no, we're not having a lawn cemetery. Once you commit to that, it's there forever. And I think this is too quick of a decision. The other bits, yes, very important to improve the amenity of the Surratt cemetery as well as our other cemeteries. We always work on that. We have our walls that we put ashes in and so forth that we've been adding. But, lawn cemeteries are very, very, very long-term commitments. So I think there needs to be some more work before council makes that decision for many, many councils in the future. Councillor Burkett?
Mr Mayor, like, personally, I'm on the fence with lawn cemeteries, especially there, because I like the old way of things done, but there is push in the community in certain areas that probably would like that. But it's not saying we're doing it, it's just developing a business case and all that, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, and all that'll get nutted out then, and like, there's probably going to be some issues in the Mitchell Cemetery because of the low levels the further east we go. But definitely support of the future upgrades, whether it be chairs or whatever it's going to be, or trees. But yeah, so I'm happy to see where this leads us. We're not committing to everything at the moment.
Does anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Guthrie.
I'm actually a little bit disappointed that the proposal is for a Q2 review. I was completely 100% behind this. I was actually the councillor who suggested it be extended to others and that a report be done looking at all of our cemeteries. So I'm completely 100% behind this, but I just feel we've got 3 more meetings between now and the end of the year. I would prefer to have it a little bit of a longer term plan rather than trying to rush it through, realising that we are in the latter part of 2023. I would be 100% in support of the next year's budget and have it with the backward mapping of what needs to be done before then. But I just feel that that's a bit of a rush for the Q2.
Okay, Councillor O'Neill.
I'm going to support the resolution and the strategy behind developing some business cases for this. I think are really important. The staff will do the due diligence and put the rigour around that we expect for projects to be presented to council. In terms of the timing, this is just ensuring that it's looked at in Q2. I mean, the reality is the budget's been set, so unless there are projects that council at that time decides due to efficiency gains or change of priorities or just may not be able to get done in this financial year, this may not happen, but it might too. And so I don't think we should get bogged down in the fact that it's changed from being a budget in a future council to being considered as part of Q2, because there's still a lot of unknowns. What I'm pleased to see though, and all credit to Councillor Hancock, is it's about developing business cases. The community have said, initially for Surat, and then obviously it's coming out of Mitchell as well, that they would like to see the addition of lawn cemeteries into the regional cemeteries. And if this kicks it along to ensure that we're having a look at that in this term of council, then I'm happy to support it.
Okay, does anyone wish to speak against the motion or for the motion? Does the mover wish to sum up?
I do, thank you. This is a big decision, and but I'm not asking you to make any decision today that isn't to just move this along to develop a business case for Surat and Mitchell. That's the only decision that we're making. And then, to develop a business case and to just consider it and look at it at a Q2 review if there is some savings there that we could afford it to be able to move the project on. If there is no savings, well, we won't do it. If the business case isn't solid, we won't do it. All I'm asking council to do today, as I was last time, is to just let's move it along so that it is developing, so that there is work being done on this. At the moment, we have two towns that don't have the option of a lawn cemetery. There is other towns in our region that do have the option. And this does upset me a little bit to think that council won't even consider putting it forward to develop a business case to put a lawn cemetery in Surat and Mitchell where other towns in the region have that opportunity. While we're waiting to I don't know what, because if you say no to this, you're saying no to developing a business case for it. You're actually saying no. If you vote against this, you're actually saying no to putting a lawn cemetery into those towns. Well, why do they not to get a choice of where to bury their loved ones? So I just cannot understand why we wouldn't look at just moving forward with this and developing the business cases for Surat and Mitchell for a lawn cemetery and then looking at if there is any savings.
That is all I'm asking you to do. I want to acknowledge that our director, Matt, has already done a fair bit of work around this. He's done some backgrounds, he's travelled the region, he's brought forward reports for us and some options and some costings as to what he's thinking about might work in these areas. Is there more work to do? Absolutely. But we're just giving him permission to go ahead and to do more of that work. But I want to acknowledge and thank him for the work that he's done to bring this forward today, because even that has given us some options for those two communities in our region that do not have lawn cemeteries and do not have an option to where they like to bury their loved ones.
Councillor Hancock, that's not actually correct that we're voting against it. It would not happen. There could be another motion if this doesn't get up that actually could be moved at the same time. So, like your point about point 2, develop a business case.
Don't I get to have the last say?
No, what I'm saying is that's not actually accurate.
But
Well,
Mayor,
it is because
with respect, your role isn't to adjudicate the debate of
Well-
what people have to say.
Well, all
You
I'm
disagree-
saying is that
Yeah.
there is.
So you're just telling people in the room that you're going to move, if they don't support this, you're going to move another
What I'm
motion that you
saying
think's
is-
better.
No, actually, all councillors have the opportunity to move something else.
This is just developing business cases to move it forward.
All
If you vote
councillors
against,
have the
if you
opportunity.
don't vote for that, you're not developing a business case
Well,
to
what
go
happens
forward.
if a councillor moves something else, councillor?
Well, nobody has moved an
No,
amendment, Mr
but
Mayor.
you've got to test this first. All I'm saying is there is other opportunities.
And all I said is that it won't go ahead with it developing a business case because you're saying no to it.
Well, how do you know unless someone moves something else? You can't really say that.
You're leading everybody, Mr
No,
Mayor.
I don't
You're leading
think
from the
so.
chair.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think
you
so.
are.
So we'll go to the vote on that. All those in favour? All those against? 5-4 if I call for a division. Okay, moving on to
Thanks,
L2.
Council.
L2, 23-24 Quarter 1 Progress Report Operational Plan to the 30th of September 2023. Do we have a mover?
That's this, isn't it?
The big one, thank you, that's right,
Beg your pardon?
Can I just make a comment?
Please go ahead.
certainly.
I just, they're just all on track. Is that normal? They're all on track. So are we happy with everything?
Look, at this stage, in the first quarter of the year, where we do a lot of our planning, yeah, our stuff tends to stay on track. We would certainly say the quarter 2 review is a keen review for all of us, because by that stage, it's very clear about what is on track and what is not. So look, it's not a surprise at this point of year that the majority of stuff's on track.
Thank you.
Do we have a mover? Councillor Burkett?
I'd like to move that Council 1 receive and note the contents of the 2023-24 Quarter 1 Report. 2, endorse the Quarter 1 Report as presented in accordance with Section 104(7) of the Local Government Act 2009.
We have a seconder, Councillor Edwards. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
Okay, page 13.
L3, Roma Campdraft Power at Bassett Park. Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to move that Council note 1, the report and Acts Resolution number 0M-10.2023-11. 2, the Roma Director has met with the Roma Campdraft Association and discussed power supply options to newly erected lighting towers. 3, the preferred option is the lights to be interconnected and powered by a single generator. 4, the contractor who installed the light towers is currently providing a quote for the preferred options. 5, subject to the quote being reasonable, Council will work with the Roma Campdraft Association to have the works carried out. And 6, any council funds required to complete the project will be allocated from Bassett Park capital funds.
We have a seconder, Councillor Guthrie. Councillor Hancock,
I just have a question.
please go ahead.
Through you, Chair, Director. Just with your Bassett Park capital funds, I'm not against this project. I just want to know, you've obviously got in your head a whole list of things and priorities that are out there. With your discussions, does this rate as one of the high priorities at the moment when you line it up with other priorities?
Certainly in relation to finalising the ability to interconnect all those towers, that makes sense. I think in the scheme of the cost that may be involved, the allocations against other projects for Bassett is that we're only talking in the tens of thousands of dollars, and so we haven't fully allocated the 2 million because you need to make sure you've got some room for when you go out for requests for quotes. So I certainly have capacity there. Equally, what we're seeing is that, for example, Council recently awarded that tender for the men's toilet. It came in significantly less than we were expecting. I've also understand, at least in the steel market, the steel prices have come down dramatically. So I'd like to think that some of the projects that we've got planned for Bassett that we've already out, we should be well and truly covered for in a costing point of view. So the capacity to pay for this job, and as I said, the outcome being the ability to interconnect them, albeit to a generator. If you note in my report further on, I do say at least for the short term, because certainly there's a body of work going on as we speak in relation to power supply capacity coming into that. This work, regardless of whether it was to a generator or to a future mains connection, the work is still needed for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, does anyone else wish to, has the mover spoke to the motion?
No
Please
problem.
go ahead.
I'd just like to firstly thank the director for meeting with the camp draft committee the other week, whenever it was. And I do believe they've indicated they will be contributing some sort of money. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Maybe not a figure yet, but
No, and we're still working that through. But
no,
the intent is to do that.
yeah, and I think it'll not only, as I said last week, and whenever it was last meeting, sorry, some of this work gets done before the new arena goes up, the camp draft arena. It'll make it a bit easier, and it'll be much safer than having leads laying all around the grounds.
Okay, righto. So does anyone else wish to speak? Then we're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So do we have someone to go into closed?
We've got conflicts.
Disclosures?
Conflicts?
Yeah.
Any conflicts, councillors?
Yeah, we've got one on C16, which is application for community grants round 2, 23-24. The declaring councillor is myself, Councillor Cameron O'Neill. Person with interest is myself, particularly to the interest. I'm chair of the Country University Centre Maranoa, and CUC Maranoa has submitted a grant application for this funding round. Type of conflict is a prescribed conflict of interest, and the action I'll take is to leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
C8, description, Roma District Rugby League, declaring Councillor John Burgett. Person of interest, myself. I have a conflict as I'm the Vice President of the Roma District Rugby League, and the report concerns an asset of this entity. I'm pretty sure it's a declarable conflict of interest. The action I will take is leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Okay, do we have someone to move into closed? Councillor O'Neill.
In accordance with provisions of Section 254J3 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, I move the Council resolve to close the meeting to the public to discuss confidential items that its councillors consider as necessary to close the meeting. In accordance with Section 254J5 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, the following table provides the matters to be discussed and an overview of what is to be discussed while the meeting is closed. C1, application for funding under Queensland Government Minor Infrastructure Inclusive Facilities Fund. C2, Roma Denise Spencer Memorial Pool Redevelopment Project Community Consultation Outcomes. C3, Campbell Park Redevelopment Project Confirmation of Project Scope. C4, Miss Campbell Street Culvert Additional Inlet Treatment Works. C5, Tender 23041 Wallumbilla Multipurpose Building Construction. C6, Roma and Mitchell Water Networking Modelling Planning Report. C7, Roma Mud Derby. C8, Roma and District Rugby League. C9, Wallumbilla Reservoir Replacement. C10, 2023-24 Quarter 1 Budget Review. C11, CEO Performance Review 2023. C12, Bottletree Bulletin Tender Evaluation. C13, Mitchell Great Artesian Spa Complex Tender Evaluation. C14, Roma Junior Campus School Drop-Off. C15, Wallumbilla and Yuba Sewer Systems Feasibility Study. C16, Applications for Community Grants Round 2, 23-24. LC1, Update on Horizon CHL Agreement.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Taylor. Any opposition? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
So, Mr Mayor, do we ask the minute taker where she wants to start?
C1.
We've got the old one, or?
Well, I've added the motions without notice at the end.
Right, great idea.
Perfect.
I've pre-prepped
Okay,
for those two.
We'll have to beat a couple of
so we'll start with close, C1.
C1, all good.
Righto. Okay, C1, application for funding under Queensland Government Minor Infrastructure Inclusives Facilities Fund. Do we have a mover? Councillor McMullen.
Did Cam Hoffman?
Maybe we come back to this one because we were getting a reworked.
Is that?
This is reworked.
That,
Through you, Mr Mayor, point B is left for the first point of that
Oh, yeah.
at this point,
Sorry.
but you may choose to remove that.
What was that, sorry, Kel?
Point B for item 1, highlighted in yellow, that is there at the moment as there wasn't any discussion, however, you may choose to remove that.
Mr Mayor, then I'll move that Council 1 apply for funding under the Queensland Government Minor Infrastructure and Inclusive Facilities Fund as follows. A, under the inclusive and accessible category, support the Roma and District Cricket Association prepare a submission for an upgraded toilet facility at the Colts Cricket Oval. B, under the inclusive and accessible category, Council prepares a submission for a unisex toilet at Surat Golf Club, design as per Mitchell Cemetery toilet. C, under the safe, quality and efficient category, Council submit an application for lighting of walking path loop and installation of additional scooter jumps along the western footpath loop at Mitchell Memorial Park. 2, include the co-contributions required in the 2023-24 budget if successful. 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to sign funding agreement and any other necessary documents if successful. 4, authorise local area staff directors and LDOs to advise community groups of the current funding opportunity and provide assistance for these groups where possible to submit application or applications for funding under the program.
we have Councillor Ladbroke seconds that.
Yeah, but you only just put it up.
Yeah, you were first.
Do we, have anyone wish to speak to the motion?
No, thanks. I don't, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Burkett, do you wish to speak to the
I
motion?
just think this is if we get this and it comes to fruition, it's wonderful for every community involved.
Okay, does anyone else wish to speak? I certainly support that, and we see that the cricket club has increased their fields, putting a lot of effort in there. But this might be great if they consider doing this with us, so we'll wait and see. Okay, does anyone else wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C2, Roma Denise Spencer Memorial Pool Redevelopment Project Community Consultation Outcomes. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move that Council 1 receive and note the feedback from the Roma Denise Spencer Memorial Redevelopment. The Roma Denise Spencer Memorial Pool Redevelopment Community Consultation on the draft design. 2, confirm the general arrangement of the key project elements in accordance with the layout of the concept design release for community consultation. 3, endorse the recommended changes to the draft concept plans as listed in the table. And 4, continue to consult with the adjoining residents as the next phase of the project design is developed.
We have a seconder? Councillor Burkett. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, moving on to C3, page 60. Campbell Park redevelopment project, confirmation of project scope. Councillor Taylor.
I'd like to move that Council 1 receive this report by way of an update on Campbell Park upgrade project. 2, confirm and approve the following scope and priority works for the park upgrade projects as follows. New Kiwi turf, automatic irrigation system, pedestrian. Automatic irrigation system, pedestrian vehicle separation bollards, CCTV security, large shelter and barbecue area near the car park at the top, block work abolition facility, small maintenance shed. Include the remaining elements of the Campbell Park Master Plan and Council's unfunded capital works register for consideration as part of the future funding opportunities and budget reviews.
We've got Councillor Hancock seconds that. Any opposition? Does the mover wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, please. I'd just like to say that this is our first step and can't wait for us to find funding for the rest of it. And even though it's a simple plan at the moment, there's a lot of scope for more. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Ladbrook.
I'd just like to say that I think for Roma, it's an exciting part of livability, you know, like once that's done up, there's more places to go, and I think it's wonderful. Yep.
Does anyone else wish to speak? I'll speak. Certainly this has been driven by the community. I know that it might have been in the last term or this term, we actually got feedback from the community. Actually, they wrote to council to ask about doing something with Campbell's Park because of the history of the park. Obviously, councillors here have been very supportive, and if this gets up today, we're going to see it change pretty dramatically quickly, so I'll certainly be supporting this motion and giving the children of the Maranoa a great hill to be able to run down, which will be fantastic. Does anyone else wish to speak? Does the mover wish to sum up?
No, thank you.
We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, C4, Miss Gamble Street Culvert, additional inlet treatment works. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move that Council 1 receive and note the request from the landowner. 2, approve the alternative design works to be undertaken at the inlet of Miss Campbell Street Culvert upgrade. 3, sign an additional $63,000 from the 2023-24 stormwater infrastructure repairs capital work order to undertake the alternative works at the inlet of the Miss Campbell Street Culvert project. 4, undertake further investigations on any issues from other adjoining landholders of the project.
Yeah, I'll second that. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, moving on to C. Tender 23041, Wallumbilla Multipurpose Building Construction. Councillor McMullen.
Mayor, I'd like to move that Council 1 conclude tender 23041, Wallumbilla Multipurpose Building Construction, without accepting any tender received. 2, be presented with a subsequent report at the ordinary meeting of Council on the 13th of December 2023, which is to provide an update on the procurement options for the construction phase of the project.
We have a second, Councillor Guthrie. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, moving on to C6, Roma and Mitchell Water Networking Modelling Planning Report. Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move the council receive and note the Roma Mitchell Water Network Modelling Planning Report.
We have a seconder, Councillor Taylor. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C7, Roma Mud Derby. Do we have a mover? Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move the council receive and note the officer's report is presented in line with resolution number OM 09202339.
We have a seconder, Councillor Hancock. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, moving on to
C8.
C8, Roma and District Rugby League.
I've got a conflict.
Councillor Burkett is going to leave the room. He has left the room. Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I'll move that council one approve a one-off fee waiver for the Roma District Rugby League for the council disposal fee at $55.70 per tonne, and two, cover the costs of the state levy for up to the value of $2,000 drawn from the ongoing assistance budget GL 0287.2245.
And we have a seconder, Councillor Ladbrook. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 8-0.
We finished, Burko.
Okay, C9, Wallumbilla Reservoir Replacement. Councillor Edwards.
I'd like to move the council, one, receive and note the report is presented. Two, approve $157,500 as part of the 2023-24 capital budget for stage one, scope of works for the Wallumbilla Reservoir to be funded from cash reserves. Three, consider stage two for demolition of the existing structure and provision for a new steel reservoir with chlorine and sulfuric acid resistant liner and associated piping to the value of $250,000 as part of the 24-25 budget deliberations. And four, publicly notify the community of the project.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor McMullen. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go into the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, moving on to C10, 2023-24 Quarter 1 Budget Review. Do we have a mover? Councillor Guthrie.
I'd like to move that Council 1 adopt the Quarter 1 2023-24 revised budget as presented. 2, adopt the revised financial statements for 2023-24 budget amendments as shown in the report's attachments. The revised budget financial statements 2023 and 24 and following 2 years. The revised budget financial statements 2023-24 and following 9 years. The revised financial sustainability ratios 2023-24, the total value of change in rates and charges, and that the documents be placed on the council website, www.maranoa.qld.gov.au/council/budgets.
We have a seconder, Councillor Edwards. Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? 8-1 if I can call for a division. C11, CEO Performance Review 2023. We had a date there,
Yeah, you
didn't we?
did, 21st of November.
Please go ahead, Councillor
I'll move
O'Neill.
that council undertake the CEO's performance review on Tuesday, the 21st of November.
Okay, we have a seconder, Councillor Burkett. Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C12, Bottle Tree Bulletin Tender Evaluation. Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that Council 1 select Bringer Action Group Incorporated as a preferred tenderer for RFT 24,000 to produce and distribute the Bottle Tree Bulletin for the amount of $12,865 times 24 months for the total of $308,760, with an option to extend the contract for a further 24 months commencing 1st December 2023. 2, endorse a new format design proposed for a publication size option being 28 pages per edition. 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to execute any documents necessary to formalise the contract. And 4, adjust the budget for the 23-24 GI 0201822102001 Communications Bottle Tree Bulletin Materials and Services to incorporate the new annual contract amount.
We have a seconder, councillor McMullen. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go.
Just
Please
Mr Mayor, I
go
think
ahead.
it's exciting times that we're getting a bigger bulletin and with a bit more professional outlook on it moving forward. So I think the community should be happy and the community should take advantage of putting some stuff in there and making it a worthwhile read.
Righto. So on that note, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
205.
Okay, moving on to the next one, which is Mitchell Great C13 Mitchell Great Artesian Spa Complex tender evaluation. Councillor McMullen.
Oh, you, eh?
Mr Mayor, I'd like to move that council endorse the Bringa Action Group Incorporated as the preferred respondent to tender 24001 for an amount of $299,750 inclusive of GST per annum for 3 years, with the option for 2 additional 3-year terms, total of another 6 years commencing 1st of December 2023. To authorise the Chief Executive Officer delegate to finalise all terms if acceptable and execute any documents necessary to finalise the contract. 3, adjust the 2023-24 budget to reflect the cost of the new management agreement. 4, make arrangements for the Bringa Action Group Incorporated to operate the facility on a month-to-month basis until negotiations are completed.
Happy to second that, Mr Mayor.
Councillor McMullen, would you have any appetite to also have something in there that this includes the running of our information centre at Mitchell, so people understand it's that as well?
I think, isn't it as tendered?
It is, but for the community. So
This includes.
Just through the chair, if you're not trying to change anything, just inform, you could say acknowledge that this agreement incorporates the visitor information services or something.
And we're 100% confident that it does.
Yeah, that's what the director said.
Yeah, he did say it's definitely incorporated, yeah.
It's all wrapped in together.
And, okay, Mr
But
Mayor.
then people might, I think we need to be really careful here because this is about a tender. And I just wonder whether people think that that's all it is, but it's actually more than that. So I think this is about a tender.
The directors did say it was in the tender documents, which everyone got to see, but the community won't get to see that. But it's up to the mover and the seconder.
Hang on, Mr Mayor.
Through the chair, you might even use that acknowledge that this agreement also incorporates, so that you're just going, it's already, the tender's about the running of the spa. But that's just
point 5, acknowledge that this agreement also incorporates visitor information services.
Okay, does the seconder happy with that?
This centre, because then it's a qualified thing. That's the brand of it, information centre, not service.
Is it an actual yellow bit?
Yeah.
It's got
the yellow.
Yeah. So you're happy to
Put centre.
Dot point 5 again.
just centre instead of
Information
services?
centre, not
Information centre.
services.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually in the report. Councillor Edwards has just pointed out on page 211.
Yeah. Okay, so is the seconder happy with that?
Yes, sir.
Right, that's the motion. Does the mover wish to speak to the motion?
Mr Mayor, I just think it's great to see Bringa Action Group resubmit their tender and get it. Once again, they've done a terrific job over the last 4 years, whatever it was, and I think it'll only go ahead in leaps and bounds.
Does anyone else wish to speak?
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I also support it. I think it's wonderful news that they've got the tender again. They have improved it month by month and year by year, and the courtesy bus they run for the town, but also looking at putting a future pool in as well. I think it's just going on leaps and bounds, so take my hat off to them.
Yeah, I'll speak to it too, and that's why I mentioned that for the community that this tender did include the information centre, and that's a big thing to be able to run that. And that is something that we do know that is very needed, and congratulations for Bringa Action Group have been doing that. So I think this is an opportunity for everyone. Okay, does anyone else wish to speak? Does the move wish to sum up?
Just like that, a little bit, Mr. Baron, just for clarity, the Bringa Action Group, employs quite a number of people, and it puts a lot of, just in wages alone, puts a lot back into the local community, and there are other services that's already been mentioned by Councillor Burkett, running the bus and other things they do for the whole benefit of the whole community.
Righto, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, moving on. C14, Roma Junior Campus School Drop-Off. I'd like to move that Council, 1, not repeal Resolution number OM/10.2023/36. 2, authorise the Mayor to write to the Principal of the Roma State College detailing Council's position. We have a second at Councillor O'Neill. Does anyone wish to speak to it? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, is that all in that one?
And C15, page 220,
Okay.
still on the big one.
Oh, yeah, page 220. Must be on the next page, is it? Here we are, 220. C15, Wallumbilla and Ewell Sewerage Systems Feasibility Study. Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that Council 1, receive and note the report as presented. 2, endorse the engagement of McMurtry Engineers for $45,000 to complete design, scope of works, specification and bill of quantities for a sewage treatment works to be the project ready for tenders should capital be made available. 3, that it is funded from the current work order 23683, business case Wallumbilla and Ewell Sewer Systems. 4, consider a future capital contribution when known as part of any future funding applications.
We have a second at Councillor Guthrie. Any opposition? No one wishes to speak. We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C16, applications for community grants, round 1, 2023-24. Okay, Councillor O'Neill has left the room. Councillor Burkett, please go ahead. Was it Councillor Hancock, was it? Sorry.
I move that Council 1 endorse the recommendations of the assessment panel and approve the following community grant applications for payment. The Senex Small Grants, Wallumbilla Ag and Pastoral Association for a Christmas event, $2,346. Surrey District Development Association for Ballin on the Ballon, $3,000. Roma and District Family History Society office equipment, $1,730.85. CWA Mitchell for a vanity upgrade for their bathroom, $678. The Surratt Bowls Club for purchase of range hood, $1,799. Surratt Pottery and Craft, pottery shed equipment for $3,000. And then the community grants, Wallumbilla Town Improvement Group, Billa Bite Night, $7,500. Umamaran Gun Club upgrade facilities, $5,527.34. Mitchell Camp Draft Association, Mitchell RSL Combined Sports Club, new yard fencing for the camp draft, $9,520. Headspace Roma Yolo Conference, $5,000. CUC Roma Maranoa Children's Book for $4,300. For a total of the community grants was $31,847.34. And sorry, I should have said the total of the Senex small grants was $12,553.85.
Councillor Burkett, there's no conflicts in this?
I just actually realised then, but I didn't think it was too late.
No, well, it's never too late.
Yeah.
Okay, so please declare a conflict.
Sorry, people. Where's Kel? Oh, Kel, sorry, over there. You've been there all day and I'm still looking at it. Oh, I can't believe I let that one pass me. What's the number?
It's C16.
C16.
it is applications.
Application of community grants round 1, 2023-24. The declaring council is myself, the person of interest myself, the particulars of the interest. I'm the president of the RSL and Combined Sports Club of Mitchell, and the Mitchell Camp Draft is a part of that association. Type of conflict is declarable conflict of interest, and the action I'll leave the room before all the matters discussed and voted on.
Okay, councillor Burkett has left the room. So we have a mover. Do we have a seconder for the motion? Councillor Taylor. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion?
Mr Mayor, I'd just like to congratulate the community again for putting in some worthwhile applications. They all look very worthy of receiving the funding, and it is always wonderful to see such great applications come forward, bearing in mind that we're giving out a total of, you know, the $12,553 for the Senex and the $31,000, but that is actually, there's a multiplier effect on that that gets put back into the community once the community groups put their bits with it. So I'd just like to just thank the staff for always supporting the community groups with putting in their applications, and congratulate these community groups on their success.
Does anyone else wish to speak? I too would like to support, you know, this is great that this money goes out to the region. It's not necessarily a large amount of money, but it's very valuable projects that are delivering real outcomes to our community groups. So it's certainly something that I support, and it just shows that it can go quite a fair way when it dials down into what community and non-for-profit groups actually need. Okay, does the mover wish to sum up?
No, thanks.
We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 7-0. Okay, so we get some councillors back.
What are we doing the next one? The late one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Late
LC1.
confidential.
Yep.
Okay, LC1, update on Horizon CHL agreement. Do we have councillor Edwards?
I'd like to move the council receive and note the officer's report as presented.
We have a seconder, Councillor McMullen. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, I'd like to move a notice of motion.
Item without notice, yep.
Item without notice. What number would we call it, Kel?
L4.
L4, request for information on impacts of wind farm in airspace and airports. I'd like to move that, so...
Moving to put it on the agenda.
On the agenda, so
I'll
is it...
second that.
We have a seconder. All those in favour? 9-0. Will we deal with this one?
Yeah.
And then-
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, I'd like to move that a report be provided for an upcoming council meeting on the impacts of wind farm, wind turbines in Roma Airport and airspace. We have a seconder, Councillor Burkett. All those in favour? 9-0.
Who moved it?
I did.
Mr Mayor.
Okay, do you have one, Councillor Hancock?
I do, thanks. Mr Mayor, I'd like to move to put on the agenda a motion without notice, Teal Bar Ball.
I'll second that.
Right, please go ahead.
You need to put the,
Oh, is that just the title, Teal Bar Hall?
Teal Bar Ball,
Ball.
yes.
or,
B-O-R-E, sorry.
Ah, yeah, ball.
Teal Bar Ball.
Yeah. Yes, so we have a seconder. We'll go to the vote on that. All those in favour? And please go ahead.
Did you call that for Cal?
9-0.
Okay, Mr Mayor, I'd like to move that council investigate and undertake immediate works if required to ensure rural fire brigade and rural landowners can access the Teal Bar bore and other stock route bores for fire emergency purposes.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a seconder. Does the mayor wish to speak to the motion?
Yes.
I have a
Yeah.
question, Mr
Yes.
Mayor.
Okay, we've got a question, Councillor McMullen.
Fire, we've already got access to.
Not to the Teal Bar bore, they don't. We've, so I've had a landowner,
Well,
come to
I
me.
can tell you now, when we went round all those community groups, stock routes and fire were the top two.
So this has been raised with actually Councillor O'Neill, myself and Councillor Taylor from Tilbar Community, who said that they can't, they just need to be able to back in and suck
Yeah.
out from this,
Yep.
and they don't have the outlet.
No,
That's-
Oh,
not
and that's,
permission.
you said the access, no
Yeah,
access.
yeah, two types of access.
They wanted a
Physical
fitting.
access and you
Oh,
want
access
physical.
was access to the water.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
the
no,
way, I was interpreting you weren't allowed.
Oh, sorry, no,
No,
sorry.
because, well, I can
So
they want the
further add to
fittings.
that.
we need to have rural
That's why it's
regard.
immediate works.
Yeah,
So I can tell you now, then if, to add to that, I don't know what happened there, but rural
Same.
fires gave us 30 odd couplings.
yeah. So basically, we just need to be
Yeah.
able to put whatever
No,
on
that's
there
fine,
so
a
that
fitting.
they can.
Yeah.
Fitting.
The fitting.
Sorry.
Can have access via a fitting? Is that what you want?
Yeah, or could it be that council investigate and undertake immediate works to provide access to the Tilbar
Same as
Ball?
muck.
We've done a heap of them already, but that
Yeah,
one
I
hasn't.
just want to make sure, because there's fires and
Yeah.
very much
Yeah, no,
fires
that's-
in Tilbar
When you
over
said access, I
Taraway.
thought, I didn't.
But they still before had access to water.
So sorry,
No, they didn't.
can we just put access
No water.
via
An
a
outlet?
fitting
Yeah.
or
Yep.
via a,
The appropriate
fitting.
fittings to.
There's an
they've gotta do-
infrastructure issue
Yeah.
in them accessing the water.
So
They
before
can,
they couldn't get water.
As
There was
per,
no bore there.
as per Muckadilla tank.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, well, it's got to be the appropriate
the appropriate
fitting
fitting?
to do for
That's
the
right.
To get in.
rural fires.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay,
Or
we'll go to
to
the
the
vote.
tank, sorry.
So, yeah, Mr Mayor, just so I can talk to it, is just, this is off the basis of community members coming to us and telling us that they can't access this water in a quick emergency to be able to deal with fire.
I
And,
believe that should be the fitting to the tank, not the bore.
yeah, so fitting
To the Tilbar tank reservoir,
to the fitting to the Tilbar
water reservoir.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Tilbar tank.
Water
water
reservoir.
Yeah.
And didn't you say something about other,
Well, I just thought I'd add in
Oh,
there
roots
because
or
I've brought in Tilbar. I'm just thinking, well, because of the climate we're in right now,
Yeah. Well,
I'm
we-
just thinking we should look at all of our
Well,
access.
we probably need to check on that because we've asked for a report on all the stock route stuff because after they were put in
Yeah.
and after Muckadilla fire and that, they gave council 30 or 40 fittings to go to all our,
So that's why I've said, could we investigate
Yeah.
and undertake, if required,
okay,
what needs to be undertaken, I guess.
no,
So
that's,
Yeah, you haven't got it required.
it was in there.
the council, so I'll just read this and make sure it's there. That council investigate and undertake immediate works, if required, to ensure rural,
Provide,
there's,
to provide access.
oh, I had that before, yeah, but that's okay. For access by installing the appropriate fittings to the Tilbar water reservoir. Oh, I want
You
to
want to say
put,
for firefighting purposes?
yeah, no, I want to, can I read this out again? Sorry. That council investigate and undertake immediate works, if required, to ensure rural fire brigades and rural landowners
Have access to
Well,
water.
rural landowners won't have that.
Have access to the
Firefighting fitting.
Tilbar water reservoir by installing the appropriate fittings.
Yep, and, yeah, we'll do that first.
It might, I'm not picking it, but the rural
Yeah,
landowners won't have.
can we just come back to that, John?
Well, they won't have the fittings.
I'll just get this and then I'm happy to. Water reserve. By installing the appropriate fittings. We also had, and other stock route bores for fire emergency purpose. To have access to the Tilbar water reserve and, sorry, Cal. We can copy and paste.
Unless they tee
Tilbar
off,
water reservoir.
they can tee off it and have a firefighting one, that's all.
That's where we need to put and other stock route bores for, and other stock route bores.
facilities. stock
Or
route
other stock
facilities.
route facilities.
Or fire emergency purposes by
By installing the appropriate fittings.
Because
Yeah, it just, what I'm getting at
Yes, yes.
is,
the rural
These
landowners.
the coupling sort of, the fire brigade mob will have them, but the rural, so they might have to tee off and have good coupling on one side for the fire, and the landowners might have to have another.
Will that cover if they can
It fittings,
investigate and do
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
they need to
yeah.
do?
Because if they've got slip-on units as part of their fire thing, they'll have the right coupling.
Yeah,
Will they?
Yeah, if they've got the slip-on.
yeah. Okay,
The seconder, I'm happy.
Right, okay, does anyone wish to speak?
I've done it.
Righto, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour, 9-0. Any further business,
Well,
councillor?
One more.
One
We've
more.
still got
One more.
one there.
There's
Thanks,
one more.
councillor.
You got what?
We've
still got one
here
more.
to go.
What is it?
Which one was it?
Oh,
Kel,
through the chair, if you recall, in relation to your DA,
the DA.
oh, not in relation to your DA.
Oh, the
after that
infrastructure.
Discussion.
Oh, have we received an email
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that,
What was it for?
from Kate.
Oh, yes.
Oh, additional resolution.
Haven't we done that yet?
Righto, do we, well, I better call this one.
L5, is it?
L5 Infrastructure Agreement for Roma Quarry. Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move the council resolve to enter an infrastructure agreement with the landowner on lot 2 on SP.
It's got to be included on the agenda
Have we put this
first.
on the agenda yet? We haven't put this on the agenda.
Ah,
We need to put it
No,
on the
we haven't.
agenda
Good
and then do it.
Oh, this will be those.
well,
So we just
There was an extra
move to
one
put it
tucked
to
in.
include it
yeah.
on the agenda.
Sorry, my phone just flashed me.
Righto, please go ahead.
I'd like to move that we put L6 infrastructure agreement for Roma Quarry onto the agenda.
We have a second, Councillor Taylor. All those in favour, 9-0. Please go ahead.
I'd like to move the council resolve to enter into an infrastructure agreement with the landowner on lot 2 on SP 2044 20044 to construct landscape buffer works on the site to provide screening to the extractive industry use on lot 1 on SP 20044.
We have a seconder, Councillor Edwards. Any opposition? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour, 9-0. Any further business, councillors?
Surely not.
Righto.
No, Mr Mayor, I've just should have put in with the other one, but just through you to the CEO. Obviously, we didn't put a time frame around that access for the Tilba bore, but with the fires in Tara, that would probably be a matter of
Yeah, we are actually looking,
priority.
yeah,
I'd
we are
just like
looking at
to
everything at the moment.
I put that resolution up a while back about getting a report, and I can't find it in a hurry, but Director Wayne Wheel has already sent me, or I think we all would have got it, that they had started doing the inspections for SRAT, but the new fella had to go, he had a family issue or something,
Should
didn't
you
he?
close the
So,
meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he
is
did.
there any no, I haven't yet.
Oh.
Any further business?
I thought you called it.
No,
No,
I just
no.
asked. Okay, on that note, we'll close the meeting at 6:44 PM and thank you for your attendance.